So we did a pretty extensive survey, not just in tier 1 towns like Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, but also in the tier 2 towns. And this study was pretty broad-based. It's about Gen Z's, general philosophy, approach towards life in general, relationships, and of course workplace, which for us is the most relevant part of this study. And we found a lot of insights which resonated with what we had already known about them, but there were some very interesting new findings as well.
How does this report addresses the aspirations of Gen Zs? Like, what are the priorities of Gen Zs?
So let me restrict it to the relevant feedback which has an impact on workplace and organizations like ours. For example, Gen Zs do not like any labels. They don't like to get bracketed into a particular category. They don't like judgmental comments about them. They like inclusive workplaces. So therefore, we have to make sure that there is less hierarchy, less bureaucracy, and we don't put labels on people. They want it to be inclusive. They don't like discrimination, whether it is in terms of regional identity, language, gender identity, sexual orientation, the way people dress. So they don't like to get labeled or stereotypified. So I think there's a lot of value-based feedback which is coming to us. They also want to work for corporations which are authentic, which are honest, which sync with their larger purpose in life. They're very, very passionate about climate control, about being a good corporate citizen. And if you want them to work for you, you better reflect those values. That's the fundamental takeaway for me.
So do you think that other companies should also give attention to Gen Zs? And what are the other steps they can take regarding this?
I think today what we're doing is we are sharing this report with corporate India in general. I'm sure a lot of them will find it useful. I'm sure they're doing a lot in their own areas to kind of address what this population is seeking from them. I mean, every company has a significant portion of Gen Zs. If they don't, that itself is a problem, because they need to usher in this generation into their workforce. Everybody is at a different stage in the journey of understanding them. I think at RPG we are fairly evolved. I wouldn't say that we've done everything that we can to understand Gen Zs, but even before this research report started, we were quite sensitive to what this segment was thinking about. This report will only help us fine-tune, sharpen, and make our offerings as an employer far better to the Gen Z.
So in this regard only, what are the steps you are looking for in RPG in detail, if you mind?
So I think this will help us manage, for example, communication. How do you communicate to this population? It will help us shape a communication strategy. It will have an impact on our rewards and recognition strategy, performance management, compensation, career progression. What is it that people want out of careers? I think, there is one set of people who are, another generation who think that work is worship and everything else takes a secondary kind of a place. This generation is telling us work is important, but it's not worship. It's an important part of our lives, but it's not the only part of our lives. So I think prioritizing what we offer to them, and in no way is this generation less committed than the previous generations. So we just have to make sure that we give them what they want, and they will fivefold give you back what we want from them. I think that's been my experience.